You were feeling betrayed.
There was a huge lack of trust there because my private conversations that I was having.
Sister Wives, Meri Brown reveals deep betrayal by Robyn Brown during 2015 catfishing scandal. Meri Brown flashed fans back to a moment in time in 2015, at the height of a particular catfishing scandal, resolutely accusing Robyn of playing a part in it. What did Robyn do now? Keep up with us for a while and we'd happily fill you in. Why Meri Brown believes Robyn inevitably had a hand in the 2015 catfishing incident. On February 1st, fans learned more about the 2015 catfishing incident involving beloved Sister Wives star Meri Brown. The special aired to mark the conclusion of the reality show's 20th season. In the tell-all, we learned that Meri might have been biting back some resentful energy towards Robyn for many years. I feel betrayed by Robyn, Meri explained on the TLC series One-on-One special February 1st. Robyn would come over and talk to me about it and like, what's going on, what's going on? I would tell her what's going on. But then other stuff would happen and other stories would be out there and other communications, supposedly, would happen. Meri, 55, then explained that, at the time, she was in an online relationship with a man she thought was named Sam. However, whenever she would finish discussing private matters with Robyn, this online man-friend would mysteriously end up knowing about it too. There was a huge lack of trust there, she admitted. I don't believe that she did it intentionally to hurt me. I think she did it to try to help the situation, but she kept making it worse and kept making it worse by sharing the information. Meri then categorically added, I'm not saying I know who was the leak. Robyn, of course, was less than impressed with these accusations, and told host Sukanya Krishnan that she'd always endeavored to do right by Meri. I've had her freaking back, she said. I was sitting there watching everything that was happening and I was worried about her. On Cody's part, he admitted that Robyn did tell him about the catfishing incident. However, he clarified, I don't know that she was told that in confidence or if she saw that online. But if Cody were to judge based on his knowledge of his current wife and 3 previous ex-wives, he'd describe Robyn as the moral compass in this entire family since she entered it. Sister Wives, Meri Brown reveals deep betrayal by Robyn Brown during 2015 catfishing scandal. The long-running reality television series, Sister Wives, has never shied away from documenting the complex dynamics within the Brown family's plural marriage arrangement. However, recent revelations from Meri Brown have shed new light on one of the most painful chapters in the family's history, the 2015 catfishing scandal that rocked their world and exposed deep fractures in their relationships. In a candid confession during the show's season 20 One-on-One special that aired on February 1st, Meri opened up about feelings of betrayal that she has harbored for nearly a decade, specifically directed at sister wife Robyn Brown. The bombshell revelation. During the tell-all special that marked the conclusion of season 20, Meri Brown made a stunning accusation that has left fans of the show reeling. The 55-year-old reality star revealed that she believes Robyn Brown played a role in making the devastating catfishing incident worse, even if unintentionally. This revelation represents a significant shift in the narrative surrounding one of the most dramatic periods in the Brown family's public life. I feel betrayed by Robyn, Meri stated plainly during the special, her words carrying the weight of years of suppressed emotions and unresolved conflict. This simple yet powerful statement opened the floodgates to a much deeper conversation about trust, loyalty, and the complicated web of relationships within the polygamous family structure. The catfishing scandal, which occurred in 2015, was already a widely documented and discussed incident among fans of the show. However, Meri's latest comments suggest that there were layers to the story that viewers had not previously been privy to, and that the aftermath of the scandal created rifts between the sister wives that may have never fully healed. Understanding the 2015 catfishing scandal. To fully appreciate the gravity of Meri's accusations against Robyn, it is essential to understand the context of the original catfishing incident. In 2015, Meri Brown found herself embroiled in an online relationship that would ultimately prove to be an elaborate deception. She believed she was communicating with a man named Sam, developing what she thought was a genuine emotional connection during a particularly vulnerable time in her marriage to Kody Brown. The relationship began during a period when Meri's marriage to Cody was already strained. Years of struggling with fertility issues, combined with the inherent challenges of plural marriage and Cody's growing favoritism toward his fourth wife Robyn, had left Meri feeling isolated and emotionally neglected. The online relationship seemed to offer her the attention and emotional support that she felt was lacking in her primary relationship. However, the person Meri thought she was communicating with was not who they claimed to be. The individual behind the online persona was actually a woman who had been catfishing Meri, deceiving her about their identity and manipulating her emotions. When the truth came to light, it created a massive scandal that played out both on the show and in the tabloid media. Meri was left humiliated, heartbroken, and dealing with the aftermath of having been so publicly deceived. The incident raised questions about the state of Meri's marriage, her judgment, and her place within the Brown family structure. It was a deeply painful experience that forced Meri to confront not only the deception itself but also the underlying issues in her relationships with Cody and her sister wives that had made her vulnerable to such manipulation in the first place. The pattern Meri noticed. What makes Meri's recent revelation particularly intriguing is the specific pattern she described noticing during the height of the catfishing incident. According to Meri, Robyn would regularly come to her to discuss the situation, asking questions about what was happening and appearing to be concerned and supportive. Meri, presumably viewing Robyn as a confidant and sister wife, would share private details about the online relationship and her thoughts and feelings about what she was experiencing. However, Meri began to notice something troubling. After these conversations with Robyn, information that she had only shared with her sister wife would somehow make its way to the person she was communicating with online, the individual she believed to be Sam. This created a deeply unsettling situation for Meri, who found herself wondering how her private conversations were being leaked to her online connection. Robyn would come over and talk to me about it and like, "What's going on? What's going on?" I would tell her what's going on, Meri explained during the special. But then other stuff would happen and other stories would be out there and other communications, supposedly, would happen. This pattern suggested to Meri that there was a breach of trust occurring, and that somehow the information she was sharing in confidence was finding its way into other hands. The timing and specificity of the leaked information pointed, in Meri's mind, to the conversations she was having with Robyn as the likely source. The erosion of trust. The discovery of this pattern had a profound impact on Meri's relationship with Robyn, creating what Meri described as a huge lack of trust. This erosion of trust is particularly significant given the foundation upon which plural marriage is supposed to rest. In the Brown family's belief system, the sister wives are meant to support one another, creating a sisterhood that strengthens the entire family unit. The idea that one sister wife might be sharing another's confidences, intentionally or not, strikes at the very heart of what makes their family structure work. For Meri, who was already dealing with the emotional turmoil of the catfishing situation itself, the realization that she might not be able to trust Robyn added another layer of pain and isolation. She was grappling with having been deceived by someone online, dealing with the public humiliation of the scandal, navigating her troubled marriage to Cody, and now questioning whether she could trust the very person who appeared to be offering her support. "I don't believe that she did it intentionally to hurt me," Meri clarified during the special, showing a nuanced understanding of the situation. "I think she did it to try to help the situation, but she kept making it worse and kept making it worse by sharing the information." This statement reveals Meri's complicated feelings about the situation. On one hand, she doesn't believe Robyn was maliciously trying to harm her. On the other hand, whether intentional or not, Robyn's actions, if indeed she was the source of the leaked information, had real and damaging consequences for Meri during an already vulnerable time. Meri's careful accusations. Despite clearly believing that Robyn played a role in the information leaks, Meri was careful not to make absolute accusations. "I'm not saying I know who was the leak," she stated, adding a caveat to her suspicions. This careful phrasing suggests several possibilities. First, it indicates that Meri, despite her strong suspicions, does not have definitive proof that Robyn was sharing her confidences with others. The circumstantial evidence, the timing of the leaks in relation to their conversations, may have been compelling to Meri, but without concrete proof, she has chosen to present her concerns as observations rather than proven facts. Second, this careful language may reflect Meri's awareness that there could have been other explanations for how information was being leaked. The catfisher themselves could have been incredibly skilled at manipulation, potentially gathering information through multiple sources or making educated guesses based on publicly available information about the family. Third, Meri's measured approach may simply reflect her desire to be fair and not make accusations she cannot prove, even while acknowledging her feelings of betrayal and the patterns she observed. After years in the public eye and having experienced the pain of public judgment herself, Meri may be particularly cautious about making definitive claims without evidence. Robyn's response. When confronted with Meri's accusations during the one-on-one special, Robyn Brown was visibly upset and defensive. She told host Sukanya Krishnan that she had always tried to support Meri and had her best interests at heart throughout the ordeal. "I've had her freaking back," Robyn insisted, her frustration apparent. "I was sitting there watching everything that was happening and I was worried about her." Robyn's response suggests that she views her actions during the catfishing scandal as purely protective and supportive of Meri. From her perspective, she was a concerned sister wife trying to help Meri navigate a difficult and potentially dangerous situation. The accusation that she might have contributed to making things worse, even unintentionally, clearly struck a nerve. This defensive response is understandable given the seriousness of Meri's implications. If Robyn was indeed sharing information that made its way to the catfisher, it would represent a serious breach of trust, even if her intentions were good. The road to harm is often paved with good intentions, and Robyn may not have fully considered the consequences of her actions if she was discussing Meri's situation with others in an attempt to help. It is also worth noting that Robyn has often positioned herself as the moral center of the family, someone who tries to keep the family together and mediate conflicts. Having that self-image challenged by accusations of betrayal, even unintentional betrayal, would naturally provoke a strong emotional reaction. Cody's perspective. Kody Brown, the patriarch of the family and legal husband to Robyn, having divorced Meri to legally marry Robyn in 2014, also weighed in on the situation during the special. His comments reveal both his awareness of what Robyn knew and his unwavering support for his current wife. Kody acknowledged that Robyn did tell him about the catfishing incident, confirming that she was aware of what was happening and that she was communicating about it with at least one other person, her husband. However, he seemed to suggest that there was some ambiguity about whether Robyn had been told the information in confidence or whether she had discovered it through other means. "I don't know that she was told that in confidence or if she saw that online," Kody explained, potentially offering an alternative explanation for how Robyn knew the information she shared with him. More significantly, Kody went on to describe Robyn as the moral compass in this entire family since she entered it. This statement is revealing on multiple levels. First, it demonstrates Kody's high regard for Robyn and his belief in her good character. Second, it implicitly suggests that he does not believe Robyn would intentionally betray Meri's confidence or act in a way that would harm her sister wife. Third, it reinforces the perception that has been growing among fans of the show, that Robyn holds a privileged position in the family and in Kody's eyes, one that the other wives cannot compete with. This characterization of Robyn as the family's moral compass may ring hollow to some viewers who have watched Robyn's ascent to favorite wife status while the other marriages in the family deteriorated. Meri has since left the family, as have Christine and Janelle, leaving Robyn as Kody's only remaining wife. Whether this outcome reflects Robyn's moral superiority or simply the natural result of Kody's favoritism is a matter of ongoing debate among fans. The broader context of family dynamics. To fully understand the significance of Meri's accusations and the responses they provoked, it is important to consider the broader context of the Brown family dynamics, both at the time of the 2015 catfishing incident and in the years since. By 2015, Meri and Kody's relationship was already deeply troubled. The couple had struggled with infertility for years, with Meri only able to give Kody one biological child, their daughter Mariah. In a polygamous family where wives often compete for their husband's attention and where bearing children is seen as a fundamental aspect of a wife's role, Meri's fertility struggles left her feeling inadequate and marginalized. Meanwhile, Kody's relationship with Robyn, his fourth wife whom he married in 2010, was thriving. Robyn came into the family with 3 children from a previous marriage, and Kody legally adopted them. She also gave birth to 2 more of Kody's children. The favoritism Kody showed Robyn was increasingly apparent to the other wives and to viewers of the show. In 2014, Kody took the extraordinary step of divorcing Meri so that he could legally marry Robyn, ostensibly to facilitate the adoption of Robyn's children from her previous marriage. While this was presented as a practical necessity, it was a devastating blow to Meri, who went from being Kody's legal wife to just one of several spiritual wives. The timing, just a year before the catfishing scandal, is significant, as it meant Meri was already feeling rejected and replaced when she began the online relationship. This context makes Meri's vulnerability to the catfishing scheme more understandable. She was seeking emotional connection and validation that she was not receiving in her marriage. It also makes the alleged breach of trust by Robyn even more painful, as it would represent yet another way in which the fourth wife was taking something from Meri, in this case, her ability to trust and confide in a sister wife. The impact of polygamy on sister-wife relationships. The situation between Meri and Robyn also highlights some of the inherent challenges in polygamous relationships, particularly when it comes to sister-wife dynamics. In theory, sister wives are meant to be friends and supporters of one another, creating a sisterhood that benefits everyone in the family. In practice, however, sister wives are also in competition with one another for their shared husband's time, attention, and affection. This fundamental tension can make genuine trust and friendship between sister wives difficult, if not impossible, to maintain. Every confidence shared between sister wives occurs in the context of a relationship that is inherently competitive. When one wife appears to be winning that competition, as Robyn clearly has been with Cody, it creates additional strain on the relationships between the wives. There is also the question of where loyalty ultimately lies in a polygamous family structure. Is a wife's primary loyalty to her sister wives or to her husband? If Robyn was sharing information about Meri with Cody, as Cody acknowledged she did, was she betraying Meri's confidence, or was she simply keeping her husband informed about a situation that could affect the entire family? The answer likely depends on one's perspective and what expectations had been set about confidentiality. The catfisher's manipulation. It is also important to consider the role that the catfisher themselves may have played in the situation Meri describes. Catfishers are often skilled manipulators who are adept at gathering information from multiple sources and using that information to make their victims believe the relationship is more real than it is. The catfisher targeting Meri would have had access to years of the Brown family's life through Sister Wives, which had been on the air since 2010. They would have known the family dynamics, the strains in Meri's marriage, and potentially how to exploit those vulnerabilities. They could have been gathering information from social media, from the show itself, or from other public sources, and then using that information in their communications with Meri in a way that made it seem like they had insider knowledge. It is possible that the timing Meri noticed, where information seemed to leak after her conversations with Robyn, was coincidental, or that the catfisher was obtaining the information through other means. Sophisticated catfishers often create the illusion that they have connections or knowledge they do not actually possess, precisely to make their victims more dependent on the relationship and less likely to question its authenticity. This does not necessarily mean that Robyn did not share information that she should have kept confidential. However, it does suggest that the situation may have been more complex than a simple case of one sister wife betraying another's trust. The long-term consequences. Regardless of what actually happened in 2015, it is clear that the events of that year had lasting consequences for Meri's relationships within the Brown family. The catfishing scandal marked a turning point in her marriage to Cody, one from which it never recovered. In the years following the incident, Meri and Cody's relationship became increasingly distant, with Cody eventually acknowledging that he did not consider himself married to Meri anymore. Meri's relationship with Robyn also appears to have been permanently damaged by the events of 2015 and Meri's suspicions about Robyn's role in them. The lack of trust that Meri described in the one-on-one special is not something that developed recently. It has been festering for nearly a decade, coloring all of Meri's interactions with Robyn in the years since. In late 2022, Meri announced that she was leaving her marriage to Cody after more than 3 decades together. While she cited many factors in her decision, the foundation of mistrust and betrayal that was laid during the catfishing scandal certainly played a role. If Meri felt that she could not trust her sister wife or rely on her husband's support during one of the most difficult periods of her life, it makes sense that she would eventually decide to leave a family structure that no longer served her. Public reaction and fan theories. Meri's revelations during the season 21 one-on-one special have sparked intense discussion among fans of Sister Wives. Many viewers have long suspected that Robyn played a more significant role in the family's dysfunction than was apparent on screen, and Meri's accusation seemed to confirm some of those suspicions. Some fans have theorized that Robyn deliberately undermined Meri's relationship with Cody to secure her own position as favored wife. In this view, sharing information about the catfishing incident, whether with Cody, with others in the family, or even somehow with the catfisher themselves, would have been a way to ensure that Meri's already damaged relationship with Cody could not recover. Other fans have taken a more charitable view, suggesting that Robyn may have genuinely been trying to help but lacked the judgment or discretion to do so effectively. In this interpretation, Robyn's mistake was not malicious but rather a result of poor boundaries and an inability to recognize when sharing information would be harmful rather than helpful. Still, others have pointed out that the entire family structure was dysfunctional and that attempting to assign blame to any one person misses the larger point, that polygamy as practiced by the Browns created an environment where trust, jealousy, and competition made it nearly impossible for the wives to have healthy relationships with one another. The question of intention versus impact. One of the most interesting aspects of Meri's accusations is her acknowledgement that she does not believe Robyn intended to hurt her. This distinction between intention and impact is an important one, particularly in the context of complicated family relationships. It is entirely possible that Robyn did share information about Meri's situation with the belief that she was helping. She might have discussed it with Cody out of concern for Meri's well-being. She might have talked about it with other family members in an attempt to garner support for Meri. She might have even, in a misguided attempt to protect Meri, tried to communicate with the person Meri was talking to online to determine if they were legitimate. However, good intentions do not negate harmful outcomes. If Robyn's actions led to information being leaked that made Meri's situation worse, then regardless of her motivations, she played a role in causing Meri additional pain. The old saying about the road to hell being paved with good intentions exists precisely because we understand that meaning well and doing well are not always the same thing. This raises questions about accountability and forgiveness within families. Can we hold people accountable for the harm they cause even when they did not intend to cause that harm? Should Meri be expected to forgive Robyn if Robyn's intentions were good, even if the impact on Meri was negative? These are not easy questions, and they go to the heart of what it means to be in relationship with others. Lessons about boundaries and confidentiality. The situation between Meri and Robyn also offers lessons about the importance of clear boundaries and confidentiality, particularly in complex family systems. In a polygamous family, where the lines between sister wives, friends, and rivals can be blurry, it is especially important to be clear about what information is being shared in confidence and what can be discussed more widely. From Meri's account, it seems that she may have assumed that her conversations with Robyn were confidential, while Robyn may not have understood them that way. This kind of miscommunication can have serious consequences, as it clearly did in this case. Being explicit about expectations, I need to talk to you about something, and I need you to keep this between us, or I'm going to need to discuss this with Cody, can help prevent misunderstandings and the feelings of betrayal that can result from them. There is also a broader lesson about the limits of what we can expect from people who are in inherently complicated positions. Asking a sister wife, who is also in a relationship with your husband and potentially in competition with you, to be your primary confidant may be asking more than that relationship can reasonably bear. This is not to excuse any breach of confidence that may have occurred, but rather to suggest that the family structure itself may make such breaches more likely. The role of the show. It is impossible to discuss the Brown family's dynamics without also considering the role that Sister Wives itself has played in shaping those dynamics. The show has been on the air since 2010, meaning that the family has been living under public scrutiny for more than a decade. This scrutiny affects everything from how conflicts are handled to what information is shared and with whom. The catfishing scandal played out not just within the family but also on the show and in the tabloid media. This public dimension added layers of complexity to an already complicated situation. Meri was not just dealing with having been catfished, she was dealing with public humiliation and judgment. The question of who knew what and when took on added significance because of the potential for that information to become public. It is also worth considering how the existence of the show may have influenced behavior during the scandal. Did Robyn share information with Cody in part because she knew it would eventually need to be addressed on the show? Did the family's producer and TLC influence how the situation was handled? Did the promise of drama and storylines affect people's decisions about what to share and when? These questions are difficult to answer definitively, but they are worth asking. Moving forward. As of 2026, the Brown family looks very different than it did in 2015 when the catfishing scandal occurred. Meri, Christine, and Janelle have all left their marriages to Cody, leaving him in a monogamous marriage with Robyn, an ironic outcome for a man who built his identity around plural marriage. The revelation of Meri's feelings of betrayal by Robyn helps explain how the family reached this point. For Meri, speaking out about her suspicions regarding Robyn's role in the catfishing fallout represents a form of truth-telling that she may not have felt safe to engage in while she was still part of the family. Now that she has left, she appears to be more willing to be honest about her experiences and feelings, even when that honesty is uncomfortable or creates conflict. The question of whether Robyn will ever acknowledge any responsibility for making Meri's situation worse remains open. Robyn's defensive reaction during the one-on-one special suggests that she does not view her actions during that time as problematic, which may make any kind of reconciliation or healing between the two women difficult. Conclusion. Meri Brown's revelation that she felt betrayed by Robyn Brown during the 2015 catfishing scandal adds a new dimension to our understanding of one of the most painful chapters in Sister Wives history. Her carefully worded accusations suggest a pattern of information leaks that made an already difficult situation worse, even if that was not Robyn's intention. The situation highlights the complex dynamics inherent in polygamous families, where sister wives are meant to support one another while simultaneously competing for their shared husband's attention. It raises questions about loyalty, confidentiality, and the difference between good intentions and harmful actions. It also demonstrates the lasting damage that breaches of trust can cause in family relationships. Whether Robyn actually shared Meri's confidences in a way that made her situation worse may never be definitively proven. What is clear, however, is that Meri believes she did, and that belief has shaped their relationship for nearly a decade. The lack of trust that Meri described has been a fracture in the foundation of the family, one that contributed to its eventual collapse. As the Brown family continues to evolve and the remaining members navigate their new reality, the lessons from the 2015 catfishing scandal and its aftermath remain relevant. The importance of clear communication, appropriate boundaries, and genuine support within families cannot be overstated. When these elements are missing, as they appear to have been in the Brown family, even well-intentioned actions can cause lasting harm. For fans of Sister Wives, Meri's candid revelations offer a reminder that reality television only shows us a fraction of the full story. Behind the scenes, these are real people navigating genuine hurt, betrayal, and the complexities of human relationships. The fact that Meri has felt able to speak more openly about her experiences since leaving the family suggests that there may be many more untold stories waiting to be revealed about life in the Brown family during its final years together.